Hello everyone, we are Team Zero Trace. I am Laksh Soratia, Punya Surana, Chandrasekhar Kate, Vishnu Kumar and Meet Bua. Our project CarbonSense, a AI-powered platform which will reduce, track and balance a carbon footprint through your daily lifestyles. It is a simple, personal and fun. People can understand their activity and change their life into a positive energy.
Now, I will be explaining the problem statement. We have noticed that in recent years, because of carbon emission, global warming is increasing. And people are unaware like what is carbon footprint, what is carbon emission, and there is no such platform which monitors, balances, and provides you the suggestions of carbon emission. Covering all these concepts, we have made carbon.
Solution for this problem is we are making an Android app which will first calculate the carbon footprint. Second, it will give you daily suggestion lifestyle tips so that the carbon emission is becoming lesser. Third, it will have some gamification challenges which will provide you badges and which will give you a basic overview of what you are, and it will be interactive for users as well. Fourth, we will be giving a main feature that is plant offset feature. We will provide you some suggestions of plant which can offset the carbon footprint. For example, we are giving suggestions for lessening the carbon footprint, but the plant will absorb the carbon footprint and also emit oxygen, which will be more helpful to reduce the carbon emissions. Now let's move to our solution page and let's see the solution. Look at our AI model for CarbonSense. The tech stack we are using for the core concepts is Python. For API, we are using Flask API to integrate with frontend. For data, we are using JSON and CSV files. For static data, for testing right now. And then we will update our database to PostgreSQL or SQL. So let's start with the feature list. So this is our Flask app, which has 6 features, which is emission calculator, GPS tracker, suggestion engine, which will produce suggestions, plant recommendation, climate scorer, and chatbot. So let's run this app. And everything is ready right now. Let's check it on the Postman. Is it fetching the details or not? Okay. So our API is running on localhost 5000 and all the features are running: calculate emission, calculate daily footprint, process GPS data, get suggestions, recommend plants, calculate climate score, and at the post we have chatbot which will post some data and get test out. Let's test all the links. We will test it. Okay. So all the systems are running. For example, we have put some test data on it, which is on test file. So climate score is 78.1, daily CO2 produced is 3.15 kg. This is our front-end part, which will be fetched on our front-end Android app. You can see on the right side of the screen. Then we have score category, global average. All the data has been posted on the front end via our API. So this was emission calculation. What was the GPS processing? So we have added some automation for GPS, so which will be explained further. Plant recommendations, and everything is working on our API. So let's start with the terminal demo of our app. Now let's run the terminal demo. So we have feature list over here. So let's check the first feature, which is calculate single trip emission. Okay, so enter distance in kilometer. For example, 12 kilometers. We are taking car as a vehicle option and we are using petrol car. So okay, the answer was for this is 12 kilometer, vehicle is car, fuel is petrol, CO2 emitted is 2.52 kgs and emission factor is 0.121 kgs. We have some CSV data, which is static data. For example, for transport, we have category, vehicle type, fuel type, emission factor per kg we have inputted, and description. For transport, car, petrol, we have 0.21 kgs per kilometer. For example, for 12 kilometers, it will calculate with respect to 0.21 kgs per kilometer carbon emission. So it is providing this carbon emission. Now let's get the plant with the daily footprint. Okay? So trip 1 distance was 12 kilometer, car, petrol. Okay. Trip 2 was 10 kilometers, bike and petrol. Trip 3 was 1 kilometer, bus, none. Okay, we added 4 trips, so no emission factor found for transport bus. We have no emission factor. The total CO2 for today's emission was 3.52 kgs and 3.52 kgs. Now let's go to test and test system. So let's run this. For testing this system, we have static data input here. So we have input 20 kilometers, car and petrol. It will calculate from calculate travel emission, which is in emission calculator. Okay. Then we have GPS processing. This is the automated part of our system that everyone do not input every time that they are traveling from car, they are traveling 10 kilometers, it will be hectic for them. So we are reducing automation over here. We are tracking users GPS in every 20 seconds, and through machine learning algorithms, we are predicting that were they traveling by car or were they walking, and the GPS latitudes and longitude will track their kilometers. So for second, latitude was 12.91, 77.59. After 20 minutes, 77.6, 12.99, 77.61. So after 40 minutes, we have detected that the GPS was 3.160 km was trip. Average speed was 4.66. So our module knew that 4.66 cannot be run by a car or a bike. So it will be walk, right? So it is providing walk, and it will give the user the fluency of not producing the data. Then we have daily footprint calculation. We are providing the daily trips, daily diet, daily energy, and it is calculating that. Then we have suggestion engines, which is providing some suggestions that for trips under 3 km, try walking, cycling, consider carpooling, unplug electronics. It will provide different solutions for different CO2s produced daily. Then we have plant recommender, which will recommend plants to offset our data. Then we have climate scorer, badge for community challenges and for leaderboardship, and chatbot. So this was our basic AI model for our app, which is based on Python, NumPy and Pandas for the data virtualization and data calculation, and the Flask for API and databases in CSV JSON. That's all. Thank you.
Now we are explaining this is database which is done in MySQL. So basically this database separate three modules. One is transport module, second electricity module, and third is food module. And all module are connected to carbon table. Carbon table have many fields like suggestion keyword, emission, detail, and parameter detail. And second thing is user table. And these three table, user transport, user electricity applies, and user food is all are connected user table. So when user uses any vehicle applies his food, then store the data in these three table. And this database user relation many to many, one to many, and many to one. We are looking database. This is our CarbonSense database. There are many tables. So first of all, we see user table. User table have many fields like email, location, name, password, phone number, and this is a user access table. In this table, many records like owner, developers, user, customers, contributor, etc. This is a food tables. Here already added Panitika records. So now let's one more record, use of Postman API. So now call API. Here pizza created successfully. Now check my SQL database. Food table, refresh it. Look at here third ID record is pizza. So here third number carbon is for pizza. 1 kg consume pizza, then 2.5 kg carbon.
The future scope is we are using our CarbonSense at the level of our place. At a global place, we are using our CarbonSense for the restoring ecosystem and using the lifestyle. We have the plan that integrate the IoT sensors and the AI machines for the tracking base that uses for the automatic monitors the lifestyle and our futures that uses for our healthy use and the daily use. Our plans are simple. We build an ecosystem or communicate with nature, grow it together, and build a lifestyle that uses for their health.
So the conclusion for project is, we know that the real problem is we have to lessen or offset the carbon footprint. So our app will derive the flow of lessening the carbon footprint. It will provide you suggestions. It will also offset the carbon footprint by adding some plant suggestions. So at last, we have to reduce the carbon footprint by using your app, and it has some unique features which will help you reduce the carbon footprint. CarbonSense is
measure, reduce, self-sustain.